All right, good evening. Let's call the meeting to order. Anyone would like to file a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, approved minutes. Anyone like to approve or file a motion to approve the July 18, 2019 Planning Commission minutes?
I move to approve the July 18, 2019 Planning Commission minutes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, discussion, quick trip plating. Ms. Smith?
Thank you, Chair, members of the Commission. Tonight we have a couple of requests for Quick Trip. I'll walk you through and break it down just because it seems like we've done a couple of these previously. So tonight is a replatting, preliminary and final plat, and then also rezoning specific to Quick Trip. So when we're thinking about replatting, I have the old plat and the new plat. You'll see that there's a stormwater pond that's being put onto the plat. As for the rezoning, I ask you to think about Carver Square. So we rezone that entire site. So where the dental clinic is, Children of Tomorrow, and then the chiropractic specialist. So at that time, we rezone the entire site. And then each time a project comes in, we essentially write a zoning ordinance for each project. So we can think about it closer to what the actual use is. So thinking about things like parking can be more specific. So obviously parking for the daycare and the dental clinic are a little bit different, but the daycare needed a more significant space for drop-off. So keep Carver Square in the back of your mind as we think about rezoning of this property. So project location. This property has been referred to as the United Properties piece for several years. It's the corner of Jonathan Carver Parkway and 212. It's directly next to Meridian Fields, north of Carver Elementary. New access off Monroe Drive. So when Monroe Drive was constructed, it was done partially for Meridian Fields and then also with this project in mind. So when we thought about what Monroe Drive should look like, it often came back to this project. So thinking about a commercial user on that corner instead of a residential. So thinking differently about turn lanes, the amount of capacity, number of trips per day. And then thinking about the Quick Trip site plan a little bit. So Monroe Drive is at the bottom of the screen. There are two accesses into the site. The first one, the one that's further east, is simply a right in. So no full access at that point. That comes further west. So the right in does give full site circulation. So someone could either turn in right, go straight to the gas pumps, or they could access either coming back out the full access or additional users of this site. So thinking about this site as a total, it's about 30 acres. Quick Trip's proposing to use about 2. So these accesses, the right in obviously will primarily serve Quick Trip, but the full access will serve Quick Trip along with whatever else goes in those 28 other acres. So thinking about that full access is important. That's the main entrance and exit where a majority of the traffic will come through. Also on the site, you'll see that there are 5 gas pumps in the car wash, along with the what I would say is a typical Quick Trip store. So you can see the layout of the building. If you zoom in pretty closely, you can start to see details of like aisles and coolers, so you can start thinking about the layout. Some project details, there will be 8 bike racks installed along with 32 parking stalls, which does meet the intent of the city code. A picnic table was important to the city council, which is included in the plans. Something that's exciting and new in Carver is an electric car charger. There will be a vacuum and air compressor. The total square footage of the store is just over 9,000 square feet. Trail will be installed along Monroe Drive, so to give access not only to existing users, but also as we continue west, there will be a full trail. And then a stoplight will be required at Monroe and Jonathan Carver Parkway at the time of store opening.
Can I ask a question concerning the parking?
Yes.
The 32 stalls, they don't include cars that will be in next to pumps, right?
Correct.
So it's 32 stalls in addition to where the gas pumps are?
Yes.
Okay.
Some additional details thinking about how the site lays out. So the total green space is 12% of the site. Hard cover is 88%. Obviously, a majority of that is paved area, so the area where the gas pump is, as well as site circulation, and then the store accounts for about 10% of the site. There's there's pretty significant landscaping that's included on the plan. So you'll see for the overstory trees, there are 11 that are throughout the site. And then as you move into shrubs, there's a really significant amount, 23, 34, 26, 24 of different types of shrubs. So some pretty significant landscaping that will provide a bit of a buffer. I have the photometric plan in here too that shows where light pollution stops from the site, so that's not a concern. So this primarily is for look, feel, a nice touch. So photometric plans can be a little bit crazy to look at from the untrained eye. So I've drawn an outline on the screen of where the light pollution essentially stops from the site. So the red box shows where it hits zero, essentially. So from where the pole locations are, this is important to think about, with Meridian Fields further west, and then Jonathan Carver Parkway with Spring Creek next to that. So thinking about the lighting, we don't foresee that there's going to be light pollution, light complaints based on where the poles are, how they're positioned, as well as landscaping.
Is there a like quick trip sign or gas price on there?
Yes. So as part of the zoning ordinance, we can talk a little bit about signage.
Sure.
And then they'll come in for a separate sign permit, so I'll do
Okay.
a full review with the code once that sign permit comes in. So thinking about the replatting, which feels like we just did, which we just did. So there's an update to the plat. So the one on the left is what we previously approved. You'll see circled on the right, there's a new drainage and utility easement in the corner. So as we've worked with the county, Quick Trip, United Properties, it's been identified that for additional development of the site, as well as the Jonathan Carver Parkway site, we need additional space for a pond. So largely, that water will be driven by the county with the Jonathan Carver Parkway expansion project. So memorializing it here essentially makes it part of both the Carver Commons projects as well as the Jonathan Carver Parkway improvement project. So tonight there's a public hearing that's required. There's replatting, so there's the replat to allow for the stormwater pond, preliminary and final plat of the Quick Trip site, and then rezoning. So if there's specific conditions you'd like to be considered for the rezoning ordinance, please feel free to let me know. The city council will have the same review, so if they determine that there are other things that need to be added to the zoning ordinance, it might look a little bit different by the time of approval as we continue through the process. So I would request you open the public hearing, discuss. Dean George with Quick Trip is here, and Sherry Aarons, is that right? With Westwood is here if you have specific engineering questions. Otherwise, I'll open it up.
All right, we will now open up the public hearing. Those wishing to address the planning commission should come forward and state their name and address for the record. After all comments are received, the public hearing will be closed. No further comments on this issue will be received at this time.
I move to open the public hearing. Oh, was it already open? Apologize.
At this time, we'll still leave the
Can you go back to the drawing that has all the outlots and the new plat?
Sure.
Yeah, which outlot would Quick Trip be in?
Lot 1, block 1.
Okay.
So here, outlots A and C are ponds. So that's where that pond set that you had a question about. Similar one sits in outlet A. Outlet E is additionally used for ponding, so it'll be an expansion of the existing pond that's in Meridian Fields into this outlot. Outlet F will be the remainder left for additional development. So that will include additional ponding throughout the site, but we're not sure where that is, not knowing where the other buildings will be. And then this area here will be the future pond that will accommodate county water from the Jonathan Carver Parkway project.
You go back to the slide with the entrances and so forth. So one initial question, I guess maybe for Quick Trip representatives. So the car wash bay there looks like the cars would basically be traveling south to exit the car wash. Is there enough turn radius there as far as if they want to make a right-hand turn to then get out to that full access point there?
Yeah, so actually these, kind of the swoopy lines throughout the site show circulation. So this one here shows that a full semi could make that turn.
Okay.
So it's anticipated that cars additionally could make that same motion.
Got it.
Swoopy is the technical engineering term.
Are you kidding me? Swoopy? Only engineers.
Don't use that, I made that up, that's fake.
And then the next slide, you mentioned about be a traffic signal at Marone Drive and Jonathan Carver Parkway.
Correct.
Is that going to, from a timeline perspective, is that by the time store opens, during construction phase, before construction phase?
Sure, so when the store opens, it will be required to be in.
And the only reason I bring it up is because currently today with Monroe Drive and Meridian Fields, there's increased traffic on Monroe Drive now. Kind of looking at the area on Monroe Drive and Jonathan Carver Parkway, there's actually no signage for stopping or anything. So potentially have maybe city officials take a look at that, maybe put a temporary stop sign up for safety purposes, because on the other side of Jonathan Carver Parkway at Spring Creek Drive, there is a stop sign.
Right, we also have identified at a staff level that Spring Creek Drive was ripped up to allow for construction of Monroe, and the striping wasn't redone. So there's not the
Oh, yes.
right turn lane and then what will now be the left in the through lane. So we're hoping to get that done this fall, just so it looks like it used to before Spring Creek Drive had some construction on it.
Okay.
How closely does the signaling line up with the county Jonathan Carver Parkway expansion? Are they anywhere close where they could overlap, or will there be definitely a time gap where we'll have to have temporary, right? Because we're going to expand that to 4 lanes, right, each direction.
Yes, that's a good question. We are anticipating that there will be a temporary signal
Okay.
prior to the street construction. of
Sure.
Jonathan Carver Parkway.
I would also like to comment that the one with all the landscaping looks excellent. That's, I think, very commendable for Quick Trip to, have almost more landscaping than I have at my house.
Thank you.
And then I guess the only other questions are in terms of, I don't know, for the gas station pumps and the underground tanks, is that all handled through the state pollution control, and all those permits will be required obviously before the construction?
Correct.
And we can assume those will be, if we approve it now, we'll assume those are either already in process or approved?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the timeline? So obviously we approve and then it goes to city council. What's the timeline from there?
Yeah, so United Properties and Quick Trip have indicated they would like to do earthwork this fall.
Okay.
Starting with earnest construction next construction season. So don't anticipate a building to go over the winter, but the site might start to look a little different with grading.
Can I chime in here?
Sure.
So I'm Dean George with Quick Trip. Our tentative timeline for construction is we probably start sometime middle of next summer and hope to be open probably in October, would be our goal.
Good.
So I got some questions. When you turn into Quick Trip at the second exit, and that one, is that little box there on the immediate right? Is that the electrical car bank?
Down here?
Yeah,
This?
yeah.
That's probably going to be the vacuum coming out of the car wash.
Okay, where are you going to locate the electrical car plug?
That I don't think is noted on the plan, so I'm not sure.
Okay,
Where would you like to see it, ideally?
electric cars? I have no preference as to where you put it. I was just curious if that's what it was. Is there in the plans to be a traffic light at the corner of Monroe and the entrance into the development.
Not at this time.
Okay. The car wash, is that, I know, the competition up the street, Fleet Farm, we made them, or they put in a
Recycled water?
Yes.
So that's a city ordinance that will be required that 60% of the water from the car wash is recycled.
Oh, excellent.
Unless you want to do more.
So I don't know that we have any car washes in our company that we do the 60% or more reclaim. So I think we're still working on it from a corporate standpoint. And if it gets to the point where we don't know if we can do it, we'll just take the car wash off, if that's okay.
I know there was, let's see, can you go to the one that has the whole lots or the whole development site? That one. I don't see where it's noted off of Jonathan Carver Parkway where there was going to be a right in, right out.
So
I know that's future, correct?
correct. So this plat doesn't contemplate that because it's not in the location of the right in, right out. So there wouldn't be a street that could get you there.
Okay.
That was, right, I think in the Jonathan Carver, there was potentially another access from Jonathan Carver into the property site right on the
Into the
county
property,
plan.
correct.
Okay,
So it's in this general area.
okay,
Once we have a project that's in that general vicinity,
Sure.
it'll show up on a plat.
and then, so have they already gone through the, water district for the, I mean, obviously this is a lot of impermeable surface, so does the ponding, the existing outlet and pond and outlet C and that meets all the existing requirements from the
CCW.
CCW, thank you.
Yes, it does. Also, since this is directly adjacent to a MnDOT highway, MnDOT additionally did a review. They didn't come back with any comments.
Okay, good.
I know at a later time when it comes to the sign permit and so forth, but from an initial perspective, from a planning perspective, what you guys are thinking of, is it just gonna be something more of a monumental or monument boulevard type sign, something closer to 212 to kind of advertise it, or is it gonna be close proximity to the actual building itself?
It'll be close to the building itself. It won't be out on 212.
Okay,
So something to think about is Quick Trip will own Lot 1, Block 1. United Properties will continue to own the rest of the property.
got it.
Sure.
So you put someone else's sign on property that you don't know how to develop. In the future, they might do one monument sign closer to 212 that says everything that's in there.
Sure.
But at this time, to have one Quick Trip sign that close without knowing how the rest of the site is going to look is probably premature.
Got it. Well, before we move on, I will file a motion to close the public hearing.
Had one more question.
Thanks, Ann.
Go for it, Mr. Henry.
It wasn't seconded, was it?
I seconded it.
Uh,
Go with it.
Back to the point about the monument signs and stuff. What will be the elevation of the signs?
So since it's a PCD or a planned commercial overlay district, it is something that can be negotiated. I know that there are some strong feelings about Fleet Farm and the size of that sign, but it
Perfect.
will not be as
It won't be as large.
it will.
Know
How
that.
big is that sign?
Know that. It won't be as
It's
large. Know
it's
that.
70 feet tall.
Coming at 68 feet.
Yeah.
It's also on the highway.
Yeah.
And the lights go out at night. That's all I've got.
Well, there's a motion in a second.
All right, so any further discussion on closing the public hearing? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Any further questions, Quick Trip or anyone else regarding this project?
Let's get it built.
I will file a motion then to recommend approval of the replatting, preliminary, and final plat of for United Properties and Quick Trip with any conditions the planning commission recommends.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So I'd like to recommend, file a motion to recommend approval of rezoning for United Properties and Quick Trip.
I'll make a motion to recommend the approval of the rezoning of United Properties and Quick Trip.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks very much.
Looking forward to it.
Us as well. Yep, I think they're on.
Next item, Oak Tree Phase 4 Final Plat. Ms. Smith?
Thank you. Thinking about Oak Tree, this is probably the 6th time I think this group has seen it, so it should be kind of old hat by now. So project location is on the screen circled in red. We're south of Carver Elementary, south of Copper Hills, directly north of Dahlgren Road, Carver Square, which we talked about previously. So tonight we're reviewing Phase 4, which closes out the development. So the project has been phased, so we've reviewed final plat for Phase 1, which is along Jonathan Carver Parkway, 2, which is the northern portion, and then 3 was the 97 lots that are the southeast corner, so southwest corner. So the final request tonight is the remaining 19 single-family homes. So these lots, there's a range in Oak Tree. These are 65-foot wide lots, consistent with the PRD R2 zoning that's been approved with preliminary plat level. Something that's a bit of a change at this point. Lennar is requested to go from their more traditional single-family home to their villa product on these last 19 lots, based on the amount of sales that they've had in Oak Tree. So the villas primarily are along Oak Tree Court, which is directly adjacent to Jonathan Carver Parkway. So based on market, they're requesting a change that these lots be switched to the villa product. They're not requesting a change in the zoning ordinance that's already been approved, so the lots will stay the same, the setbacks will stay the same. It's just essentially the house that will be put on the lot. I've also highlighted on this one in the orange is the sidewalk that will connect to Copper Hills, as well as the rest of the Oak Tree development. And then obviously the 19 lots are outlined in red. The approved landscape plan was with a preliminary plat. This is consistent with what we've seen throughout the rest of the development. So there's significant plantings along White Pine Way and then Edgebrook, which comes down. Each lot will have an overstory tree. And that's all we have, because this is Phase 4. We've done this a couple times. Paul Tabone is here with Lennar if you have questions specifically for him. Otherwise, we can move forward with discussion. A public hearing is not required. That happens at the preliminary stage, so this is just final plat.
So with the recommended use of these 19 lots to build villas on now, I think we're still about a total of still 220 units, right around there
I think it comes in at 197.
altogether, but from now flipping it from the single family to then build these villas, I guess what's kind of the initial breakdown now?
So
I thought it was the same number.
it is the same number.
Same number.
So the lots don't change at all.
Okay,
So the villas are here, and then they would be here as well.
Oh, sure, it's
So-
just like the
well, that's what I was just kind of,
the elevations
The
or
total
just
breakdown.
different?
yeah, so
Okay.
from, if your bottom right corner there, I mean,
Right.
that looked like, what's about 20, 25, whatever?
Oh, you're
It's
asking
higher than
the
that.
breakdown of villas, single family.
Correct.
I'm sorry,
Correct.
Okay,
I thought you meant total units.
No, no,
Ah.
no, no, no,
So
no.
I want to say off the top of my head, the villas along Jonathan Carver Parkway, there's about 40. Does that sound right?
Honestly, I would have to check
Yeah.
the total numbers, but.
I think
It's
it's
just,
about 40. And
just
then
curiosity, because looking at the, in our pamphlet, you know, the lot size or whatever, some of these lot sizes are, and also it's noted that it's a fairly large lot size. But ultimately, if that is what the market's asking for, and you've had some very good success down there, a lot of building, then, you know, by all means, you know, build what the market wants, so.
So it looks like there's 36 here. So
Okay.
36 and then 19. The light yellow are the 60-foot lots, and then these are the additional 65. I think this was about 97. So 97.
What were the lot frontages on the villas in the east corner?
Yeah, so those ones are reduced. They're 20 for the front. It's the side yard that.
So
changes.
so the villas in the northwest have a 65-foot?
Correct.
That's a nice big yard.
Yeah.
They were already platted as they were intended to be single family.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
So,
they'll have a nice big yard.
Yes.
Oh, very
Yeah. Oh, the taxes were more.
And the villas are association maintained?
correct.
And there's current building in 1 and 2.
3 as well.
So this is the end.
It is. I think it happened a little bit faster than anyone anticipated.
Yeah,
That's good.
Really good.
Which is
for
good.
the market.
very good.
So on the existing connector street, that goes up to the county development property is just north of here with the apartment senior that
CDA?
was,
Right.
yes, I'm sorry, CDA, yes. And then, is that the second street? Or I guess if you look on the middle street, that one is by the current apartment complex, and the far one is the other residential.
It ties directly into.
Copper.
Okay, Copper Hills, okay, that's the one I couldn't think of, yes, okay. That's not existing, right? That would be added in this final phase?
So it exists to here. It is a cul-de-sac,
Right, okay,
but yes, it'll be an extension.
okay. And then, like I said, there are other sidewalks, so there'll be full walking connectivity between that and the rest of the, excellent.
And they're gonna have access to the Dahlgren Road?
Yes, that came with phase 3.
3 down the
Okay.
corner there. I don't have anything else.
No, I don't either.
No further questions?
Mm-mm.
All right, I will file a motion to recommend approval of the final plat for Phase 4 of Oak Tree.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your support.
Yep. Next item, any kind of communications?
I don't have anything besides welcome to the new building.
Yeah,
Yes.
we appreciate
It's
you
really,
canceling
really
the-
nice.
Yeah, that's great.
What's the building permits at this year so far?
74. And then I want to say we probably have 6 to 10 in process right now. So I'd say by end of September we might hit the.
Yes.
Great, thank you. If there's nothing else, anyone want to file a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.